Dracula. Jonathan Harker, a young English solicitor, travels from London to the remote mountains of Transylvania to help a wealthy nobleman named Count Dracula purchase property in England. At first, Jonathan treats the journey as an adventure, though the landscapes grow wilder and the people he meets become increasingly uneasy when they hear the Countess' name. Villagers beg Jonathan not to go on, pressing religious charms into his hands for protection. He laughs it off, trusting reason and modern thinking over old fears. When Jonathan finally reaches Dracula's castle, he finds it enormous, isolated, and strangely lifeless. The Count himself greets him politely, with perfect manners and an unsettling intensity. Dracula is pale, tall, and speaks with careful precision, as if he has studied English rather than lived among people who use it naturally. There are no servants. Dracula performs all tasks himself. As days pass, Jonathan realizes he is effectively a prisoner. The castle doors are locked, the Count never appears during daylight, and mirrors are mysteriously absent. Jonathan begins to notice disturbing details. Dracula casts no reflection. He crawls down the castle walls like an animal. One night, Jonathan encounters three beautiful but terrifying women who attempt to attack him, only to be driven away by the Count, who claims Jonathan as his own. Jonathan understands then that Dracula is not merely eccentric, but monstrous, an undead creature who feeds on blood and survives by draining the life of others. Eventually, Dracula leaves Jonathan weakened and near death, escaping the castle himself in boxes of native earth bound for England. Jonathan manages to flee and collapses, ill and traumatized, in a convent hospital, where he slowly recovers, haunted by fragmented memories of what he has witnessed. Back in England, the focus shifts to Mina Murray, Jonathan's devoted fiancée, and her close friend, Lucy Westenra. Lucy is kind, charming, and admired by many suitors. She accepts a proposal from Arthur Holmwood, while remaining fond of her rejected admirers, Dr. John Seward and the adventurous American Quincy Morris. Soon after, Lucy begins to suffer from mysterious nighttime illnesses. She grows pale and weak, sleepwalks, and seems to fade despite receiving the best medical care. Dr. Seward calls in his former teacher, Professor Abraham Van Helsing, a brilliant doctor with a deep knowledge of obscure diseases and ancient folklore. Van Helsing quickly suspects that Lucy's condition is not natural. He orders garlic flowers placed around her room and insists on strict protective rituals. Lucy briefly improves, but each time the safeguards are removed, often unknowingly by her well-meaning family, her condition worsens. The truth becomes clear too late. Lucy dies, and her friends mourn her deeply. Yet death does not end her suffering. Reports spread of a beautiful woman seen at night, luring children and leaving them frightened and weak. Van Helsing realizes Lucy has become one of the undead, trapped between life and death. With great sorrow, Arthur, Seward, and Morris help Van Helsing perform the grim duty of freeing Lucy's soul. They destroy the vampire she has become, restoring peace to her memory. Jonathan, now recovered, reunites with Mina and finally reads his own journal, which he had been too frightened to revisit. Mina, intelligent and organized, compares Jonathan's account with Seward's medical records and newspaper reports. She connects the pieces and understands that the same creature who imprisoned Jonathan has followed them all to England. Mina shares everything with Van Helsing, who recognizes her strength and clarity of mind. She becomes the group's greatest asset. The group unites to stop Dracula. They track his movements and locate the houses where he has stored boxes of his native soil, which he needs to rest and survive. One by one, they purify these hiding places, forcing Dracula to grow weaker and more desperate. Throughout this time, Mina supports the men emotionally and practically, typing their notes, organizing information, and keeping hope alive. Dracula strikes back by targeting Mina. He attacks her at night, forcing her to drink his blood and binding her to him through a dark connection. Mina is horrified, but refuses to give in to despair. Van Helsing uses this connection to their advantage, hypnotizing Mina to learn Dracula's location and plans. Though weakened, Mina remains brave and determined, insisting that they must destroy Dracula completely, even if it costs her own life. Dracula flees England, returning to Transylvania. The group follows him across Europe in a race against time. Mina grows weaker as Dracula nears his homeland, where his power is strongest. Van Helsing stays with her, protecting her while the others pursue Dracula's coffin, as it is transported back to the castle. In the final confrontation, just before sunset, the group intercepts Dracula's box. As the light fades and Dracula begins to stir, Jonathan and Quincy attack. Quincy is mortally wounded, but Jonathan delivers the final blow, destroying Dracula at last. The Count's body crumbles, his centuries-long reign of terror ending in silence. Mina is freed from his influence, and peace returns. They mourn Quincy's sacrifice, but take comfort in knowing that evil has been defeated through courage, loyalty, and shared purpose. Years later, Jonathan and Mina, now married with a child, reflect on the events. Though the memories are painful, they know that facing darkness together made them stronger, and that reason alone is not always enough to understand the world. But compassion and unity can overcome even the deepest horrors.